All right, what's going on, everybody? Today we're doing something a little bit different. I have no idea how this is going to go because I've never done something like this before. But I'm hoping that you guys can help me to create a champion ranking system. Putting as many details as possible within reason. I'm going to be taking suggestions as for what people would like to see in the ranking. So if you're watching this after the fact, after the live stream is already finished, feel free to put a comment. And can't promise I'll see every comment, but I'll try my best to at least take the comments into consideration when updating the champion ranking thing. So we're basically going to be doing a combination of using something like Excel, using something like Photoshop to make something nice and pretty and something that's a little bit more objective. So let's get into it. Of course, we got to do the tweet and all that stuff first. Kraken. Actually, before we do anything, here's what we really got to do. We got to slap that out of the Kraken for being so fast. Kraken, thank you very much, dude. Okay, thought I messed up. We're still good. Stop. Kraken, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. I can't help with that as I'm about to sleep, but swang by to say, hey. Well, hey, have a good night. No worries if you cannot help. Thanks for stopping by. What kind of ranking system are we talking about, BG? So we'll get into that in just a minute. I already gave like a very brief intro to this, which we're gonna you'll see as we go. Let me get everything set up here first, though. Dearest Marvel Champions. Let's see. Trying something different tonight. I've been wanting to make a champion ranking system. Whoops, champion system ranking. I was like, what champion ranking system for a little while now. And I'd like your input. What sort of things would you like to see measured for each champion? Let's talk about it. Yes. Nah. What the heck's going on? All right, here we go. Oh no. Okay. Jeez, dude, this looks like such a big wall of text. Can I shorten this at all? All right, forget about the different thing. I've been wanting to make a champion ranking system for, let's just say, a while. Just cutting this down a little bit for a while now. And I'd like your input. Here we go. What stats / abilities do we rank? Let's talk about it. There we go. Much shorter, much more drilled down to the point. Someone's actually going to read this now rather than just looking at a wall of text and being like, nah. Want to make a champion rank system for a while now. I like your input. What stats / abilities do we rank? Let's talk about it. Okay. Tweet. Okay. There we go. All right. So, yeah, this is... I don't know how this is going to go as far as... my ranking system. Joel is number 1 and BG is number 2. Fair. Hey, man, first is the worst, second is the best. You know what I'm saying? Cam is the one with the hairy chest. Something like that, at least. But yeah, I don't know how this is going to go doing this live. We'll see. This is something that I've kind of been meaning to put together in the background. Something that I have thought about. So I'll get us started here. But I also think it'd be cool just to take you guys' input. And honestly, VG is the living Grammarly right now. Honestly, Sundays, there's not a whole lot going on in the world of MCOC anyway. So let's do it. Here's the first thing that I'm gonna show. And by the way, I'm on the CCP beta right now because it'll just be easier to maybe like do a little bit of testing, just as like a demonstration of like what could be, like how we're gonna do some of the measurement type stuff. So yeah, just as a heads up in case you're like, whoa, when'd you get Sauron or Toad? No, I'm on the beta. Rank by amounts of hair. Oh, there we go. Definitely awakening, dependence, sig dependence, synergy dependence. Yes, absolutely. Synergy dependence is a huge one, I would say. What's it called? The rank, rank and sigs and stuff like that, I think those can be factored in somehow, but I think synergy dependence is a huge one. Hold on, I'm going to pull up a video from Taters real quick. Ludum Taters, MCOC, Abomination. We'll do this one. I already told Taters that I'm going to be basing a little bit of my system off of his, but still quite a bit different actually. You know what? I'm actually going to pull up this one just because I like the thumbnail. Plus, I couldn't find the video that I was looking for originally. Here, let's pop this on screen. So, if you guys don't know, Ludum Taters, he's got this power ranking system or power index system, and it's like I said, we're not going to be like copying his. His thing is going to be his thing. Our thing's going to be our thing, you know. But I do like the way that he does it. So most people have some sort of like tier list, or even if it's not a full-on tier list, just like a top 10 list or something like that, right? And in many ways, it's pretty subjective, which there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. I think it's what makes the game fun. What makes things interesting to like talk about, like, what do you like about a champion? How do you rank them? But I kind of want to have both. I want to have something that is more objective, that is more like Tater's system. Like let's skip ahead here. You can see he actually has like some real rankings here, and I'm not sure exactly how he determined like each one of these stats. If it is just like by feel or something like that, but just even just trying to put a number to it rather than just saying like, okay, S tier, A tier, you know. I like this quite a bit. So he you know, obviously it's a good blend. My face is covering it a little bit. The categories here, I'll even hide my face, I guess. The categories here are DPS, sustainability, power control, utility, suicide champion, and playability. And it looks pretty. It's fairly simple to understand and see and stuff like that. But how do you get something like this? Well, that's where I think having... I think the way it has to be done, and we're not I'm not going to do all of this live, okay? I'm because it would be boring, you guys watching me like build out a spreadsheet or something like that. But just getting some of like the categories, you know. So obviously one would be like how do you spell damage again? Dude, I was spelling damage like banana damage. Anyway, so like damage and healing and immunities and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I want help with, is like finding all the categories, and then from there, you know, like we'll as we go through testing the different champions other days, some of it behind the scenes just myself, some of it live if we're doing live testing, things like that. As things get fleshed out, then we can just kind of, sort by like the highest number, and that will be where the champion ranks. That way it's something that can be updated regularly, the same way that for example on Aunt May, if you look at something like this, it'll always tell you it's like the 72nd percentile between like the lowest attack and highest attack. But while this is great for like base stats, I do want it to be more like actual damage, like actual practical damage that you're dealing, which combines attack and crit and, bleed and whatever else, right? So another thing too is that I really want to have a differential. I'm just making up words as I'm screwing up my sheet here. I want to have like not just damage, but like damage long, which we'll have to define a little bit better, but like damage short kind of thing for something like a regular quest and like the Abyss. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna be doing tonight. I don't know if this is interesting to you guys or not, but I think the end result, like I said, the idea is to make something that is a little bit easier to understand like this, and just have it nice and easy to read. Again, done in not Taters' style. Tater style is beautiful, but that's his style. We're not just trying to rip off of his stuff, But so yeah, like a blend between like a full tier list and a power index rating list and all that stuff. So yeah. Jacob sending over a buck. Jacob, thank you very much. Saying just pulled 6-star Doom. Hey, Jacob, congrats, man. That's sick, dude. Congrats on your Doom. Congrats. Have a coolness meter? We could have a coolness meter. Yeah. Dragons, sending over a buck as well, saying, who are you and what have you done with BG? A ranking system? BG, where are you? Make a typo if you need help. Wait, luckily I made 400 typos. Second message attached to Super Chat. The fact that you immediately made multiple typos worries me exceedingly. Not only did I make multiple typos, Dragon, but I even created words that weren't actually words. Like I did a mouth typo. I don't like playing Thing, but that has nothing to do with my opinion on him as a champion. I don't think play/feel is a fair category. Reading MSD saying this stuff right now, who I'm also surprised to find out you don't like Thing, or you don't like playing Thing. I'm actually quite surprised by that. I've never seen you play Thing, but I never really put two and two together that you just don't enjoy playing the champ. Interesting. But okay, so you're saying I don't think play/feel is a fair category. Playstyle is totally fair game though. Ceiling of difficulty to perform at optimal levels and such. Yeah, and that's gonna be a tough one to figure out. So actually, okay. First thing I want to ask you guys, if anyone has an idea, because there's like a ton of different categories being thrown out right now, and I appreciate all that, and we're gonna like add some of that stuff, but I want to put this question out early in case someone can think of a good way to do this, because I can't immediately. There's got to be a way, but I can't immediately figure out the best way to do it. So what I would like to do is actually hold on. So let's go back to Taters' video here for a sec. Again, shout out to Taters for having an awesome setup here. So he's got this category here, utility, right? Now, how do you define utility? It's funny, Mike and I were just talking about this last night when I said that Hawkeye didn't have a lot of utility. And he said, well, Hawkeye is one of 2 champions that he knows of that can solo every single boss in Act 6. And I was like, yeah, but Is it just that he got that through kind of luck because there's like a few different things that you kind of need these absolute requirements for that he just happens to have? Or is it because Hawkeye actually has really good utility and he was kind of saying like, well, isn't that the definition of utility, like being able to do this stuff? Or actually, we're talking about versatility, excuse me. We're saying versatility, but versatility, I mean, whatever, right? Similar. So what I would like to do, by the way, Hobbit, thank you for the raid. What I would like to do is figure out a way to somehow keep track of like all of these nodes and figure out like if the champion is good at fighting that node. Is that too much? Is that going to be too annoying? Because there's a ton of nodes here and nodes are constantly being added, right? Do we just pull out like some key nodes and keep track of it that way? So like, instead of just thinking, does a champ have bleed immunity? Do we say like, well, there's approximately, maybe there's like, maybe they're capable, even if they're not immune, maybe they're capable of handling, biohazard or caltrops or something like that. So that counts. And we just kind of like trim it down like that? Or do you guys think it's actually possible to say, like, we can go through all these, and you know what? We can probably eliminate half the nodes in here, if not more, as being something that just like any champion can handle. So like, I don't know, maybe half's too much, but okay, here we go. Bane of the Hell's Kitchen, heavy attacks, gain plus 60% attack, and cannot trigger passive evade. First off, this is like just a node. Oh wow, wait, this is in story quest? Interesting. I mean, this is a node that doesn't really matter, right? Who cares about this? Any champ can handle this. So maybe we just pick out like some key nodes and then determine like, can this champion handle this, can the champion handle that, and stuff like that. There's only 2 tiers, IMO, ghost and not ghost. You're not wrong, Pete. You're not wrong. All right, Christian sent it over too, saying this is a great idea, man. Glad to see this. Christian, glad you're on board, dude. Thank you very much. Maximus sent it over 5 as well, saying Odin's beard, Brian, are you still hating on Hawkeye? Listen, I said I liked Hawkeye. Damn it. Oh man, colorblind is an example of a node you can skip. Yeah, yep. Instead of looking at all nodes, look at what problem areas the champ covers. Can they dish out debuffs? Can they work with dot? Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking, right? Like the most objective list would probably include every single one of these, but that gets to be too much, right? That would be a flawed index. You would need to define abilities into subsets. Example: null, power control, power gain, AI manip, indestructible. Sort of, but like, if there's...
Man loves beans.
I still think the absolute best way is to literally go through each one of these categories, but it's just too much work. It's just impossible to keep up with. So yeah, it probably is going to be something more drilled down, but then how important, let's say, is being able to counter evade versus being able to counter bleed versus being able to control power? How do you rank those? Or do you not? Do you just not rank them and just say like, man, a 2 stream long tangent new record? No way, dude. We've had like month-long tangents, Cloudic attempts. But yeah, but do you not rank them and you just say like, well, one type of utility counts for one, and that's it. But okay, Dragon. Okay, that's a loaded question, BG. I think the answer is twofold. I think you should have a common node counters for the ones you get asked about the most, then slowly build the bigger list over time. It's not something you could easily do up front, but it's something that you could create with enough effort over time. So maybe just like okay. So maybe we'll say, kind of felt like how we have damage short and damage long. Maybe we could say, let's move these over. Maybe we could say like, utility basic and utility niche. I mean, I know basic and niche, they're not like opposites like these two words are, so maybe there's, I don't know, maybe there's better words for it, but I feel like that describes it well enough. Basic utility, and then I was gonna say advanced at first, but I feel like advanced is not the, I feel like niche is like better, right? Or maybe we should say, instead of basic, we'll say general. Maybe that's better. General utility and niche utility. It's not bad, right? I kind of like that. I don't like that. Does dot fall under long damage? Yeah. So I mean that'll be part of it too. It's like, because like this is just, we're just getting started, man. So here's what we can do. Damage with dot, no, let's say physical, and then damage, elemental's not the right word, secondary, I guess. Let's say secondary. Physical and what's it called? Hold on a sec. Okay. That's what I thought. I'm an idiot. Physical and energy. I was like, magical does not sound right. What is it actually? I have to go look. Okay, so physical and energy, and then like secondary. And now I'm not gonna make like separate categories for like damage short, physical and secondary, and then damage low. No. So it'll just be like this will include bleed. Just write a kind of a note for right now. So yeah. God, so bright when I have that on screen. Sorry guys. I know some of you are sitting in like a dark room on your phone or something, and then every time I go to this page, it's just like but yeah. Alright, so physical and energy, and then the secondary. BG, impractical versus practical damage. I don't think we need those two categories, because I want everything to be practical. If it's impractical, then it doesn't need to be ranked. You know, ranking lists and stuff like that doesn't common versus niche. I do like common better than general. Okay. I mean, these ranking lists, they're not going to be able to answer everything, right? I don't want it to necessarily replace people experimenting, having fun ideas and stuff like that. If it's not practical, it doesn't count as far as I'm concerned. So like, I would say Hella, I would measure her practical damage as either like not being able to do crazy ramp up, or with the right synergies actually being able to do crazy ramp up. But we would have that separated by something like synergies and no synergies, which as you can see, this is already, you know, starting to or we'll say damage. We don't need a ton of different categories for this one. We'll just say damage synergies, because we actually don't need a category without synergies. The rest of these will like be without synergies or something like that, you know. Noob friendly champs. We might have something like that. BG, you do know that you can fill all cells with black and then use white text. That's true. I should do that, huh? Let's do that real quick. Yeah, okay. That's better. Okay. You know what? While we're at it, though, let's make this a little bit more readable for you guys. And let's bump it up to, like, 18. No, 18's a bit much, maybe. Say 14. And... oh, what? How do you do it for all of them again? Okay, there we go. Okay, that actually might have made it worse. You know what? I just realized we can go down first. Eventually, I'll change these. But let's actually... I'll put it down so it'll be easier to read. Because I'm not filling out the columns right now. So, let's do that. Oh, God, and then it changes the formatting, too. I'm not exactly a Excel wizard over here, so there's probably some things I could be doing more efficiently. But right now, it's gonna have to do as is. Okay. All right. And then we can actually change this again to well, let's say like 16. Okay, cool. Okay. Damn, Edge. Did I do it again? No, I didn't. Okay, all right, good. Okay, so, healing. Okay, and now I did say some things were, like, you know, it's not always going to be, like, most things are going to be practical, but I will say, like, this is important. Healing, difficulty, so like how easy it is to heal. So like what's it called, like King Groot, his healing is as simple as it gets. He gets a gold star, man. 10 out of 10, because you don't have to do anything. You don't actually have to hit the opponent, right? It just happens. Whereas someone like Wolverine, his healing, it's not exactly like a magic trick that you're pulling off, but you do have to hit the opponent. And it's not always that easy to hit the opponent, right? If it was that easy to hit the opponent, you would never need to heal because you would never actually get hit. It seems like something that needs to be broken down by game content, just like when you give rank of advice. It's always where you're at in the game. Sort of, but that's that's what this utility part is supposed to try to cover. Again, it's impossible just to look at this list and say, oh yeah, I know everything about MCOC because we're looking at something that is going to boil down a character to something like this. That's not the goal. The goal is just to have some sort of measurement in place. Because to be honest, man, there's over 200 characters in the game, and Kabam's only adding more. I can't keep up with all these characters, man. I can't remember everything that a champion can do. I can't remember how I felt about a champ that I played for 2 hours a year ago or something like that, and then never touch them again. You know, our memories, they're not that good. But if we can, you know, kind of break it down this way a little bit better. And again, it's not a ranking system in the way of like 1 through 10, even though I kind of just implied that by giving King Groot a 10. It's not exactly gonna be that way. Well, for difficulty, I suppose it is, but for like the damage number, we're literally gonna write down like, okay, was able to do, you know, 500 DPS or something like that. Are all these not? Oh my god. Is it not gonna save if I do that? No, it saves it, right? Okay, I think it's just because I cut it. Anyway, like 500 DPS for one champ, you know, and then it'll rank itself. In a way, when we just go to sort it, you know what I mean? But yeah, dependence on. All right, so yeah, let's write down a few more categories here. So yeah, you know what? Like I could do damage with. How do I do I do damage when awakened versus not awakened, or do I just say like, do we just assume every champion is at like max sig? but then give like a dependency score. I think we do that, right? We just assume every champ is at their peak, because otherwise it gets too messy. There's already, look at all these categories already for damage, right? We might even have to trim this down somehow. So let's just say awakening, dependency score, high sig score. We'll just, you know what? Well, yeah, fine. We'll leave it. Is that how you spell dependency? Is that... Hold on. Is there a... It doesn't look right. Hold on. You could tell I don't read. I knew it was an E, not an A. Son of a... Alright. I was like, there's no way it's Dancy. It's Dancy. Okay, anyway. Dependency. There we go. Alright. Under mothers. Oh, wait, hold on. There was actually a message. I'm sorry. Amanda Sweep Whiff sent it over too. Thank you very much. Sorry I'm getting to your message so late. Saying, do you think if Kabam had an option for players to purchase outright 6-star crystals, it would break the game? Or had a crystal for 25,000 units that allowed you to select any 6-star you wanted in the basic? What are your thoughts? Also, I'm bald too. Gang life. Well, thank you very much. Hate to say it, but I got a full head of hair. This is a bald cap. Anyway, I would say break the game. I don't know if that's necessarily the right way of looking at it. Kabam, you know, they're trying to make money, and the most amount of money they can make is by using the gacha system. It's a reason why all these companies do it, and they don't really sell things outright. I mean, sometimes they do, right? It's just that it's very rare. So like the big selector that we just had for Cyber Weekend, where you got to pick any champion you wanted from 2020. You know, there's occasionally things like that, or the Sigil Witch, but the way that they can make the most, amount of money is just by using the gacha system, and you know, people end up spending sometimes thousands of dollars without getting the character they're going for. It's debatable whether or not you believe that that's moral or not to be using systems like this, but the fact is it's here to stay, and I don't expect it to change anytime soon. As far as like, would it be good for the game just to be able to buy any champion you want? I actually think no, it wouldn't be. Except like I said, on occasion, I think it's fun, but I think part of what makes MCOC great is you don't get to choose. You know, it's random, and you just have to play the hand that you're dealt, and that's what makes it most fun. But thank you very much for the 2. Under Mother, okay. Let me see where you're at. Saying, hey BG, I did the 92-97 challenge, 5 tier 2 alpha short of being able to rank 3 someone. Did I just bull rush my way through 7.3 taking the tier 2 alpha paths? Or you're asking, do you? To make my rank up? Yes, I did. Oh no. You were actually saying did. Well, nice, dude. Congrats, man. Congrats on your rank 3. Lefty sent over 5 as well. What's up, Lefty? Saying, yo, BG, I made a grocery list, but then I went to see a sad movie. I used the list to wipe my tears. I guess it's a tier list now. Okay. I swear, one more joke like that, Lefty. And I'm mending the damn stream, dude. Come on, man. Boo, dude. Over here trying to make a good list. You're telling these terrible... Take a freaking lap. Boo. What if you make different subsections for different node types and champs that are good for those nodes, like a section for nodes that cause evade, damage over time, unblockable, etc.? What if you make a subsection for different node types and champs that are good for those nodes? Well, okay, so that's the utility section right here. Which honestly, we should probably start color coding some of this stuff. Maybe just Not going to go too crazy with it. It's probably going to look ugly. Oh, Jesus. No, that was the wrong way. I wanted to do it like this. Will that stand out? Yeah, that's good enough. So that's like the utility section right there. Okay, all right. So what else do we need though? So we've got damage. We've got like 5 different sources of damage. Oh, you know what? I mean, we have like healing and stuff like that. Oh, son of a. We have healing, but you know what we don't have? We don't have tankiness. Which, how do we call this? Do we just say tankiness? Mitigation? Effective health? Maybe we'll say effective health. Let's do that. Because effective health basically means like... Okay, if a champion has... Let's say this. Let's say this. Hold on. Let's see. It's a good example of this. If a champion like... I want to find someone that doesn't... All right. Let's say Hulk. All right. Hulk, he's got like a fairly high base health, right? Actually, it's not even that high, surprisingly. I guess because he's an older champ, but he's kind of middle of the road. 55th percentile. But anyway, he doesn't really have any ways of reducing damage. Or actually, he does. He's got a little bit. He's got some physical resistance. Actually, even better. So he's got some physical resistance. All right, so because he has some physical resistance, instead of just having, 49,000 health, he's going to reduce that damage by a bit more. Of course, all champions have some armor to them too, right? So all champs are already reducing some, some damage with armor. But then there's the physical resistance. Crit resistance some champs have, which is why someone like Doom is so absurdly tanky. Because even though his base health is low, it's 31st. He's much lower than most champs in the game, but because of his crit resistance, the dude just doesn't really take damage. For someone who doesn't have that high of a health pool, this is 6-star rank 4, right? Even you go 5-star like rank 5, under 30,000 health, and it feels like the dude has 50,000 health. Laura just yelled at me to read her comment. All right, let me see. Fun story, true story. I was out shopping all day, and at my last stop, I saw they had Nerds Rope. I decided to pick up a couple for BG. As I'm walking in the door, I tell BG I've got a gift for him. He runs out of his office and immediately yells, "Can I eat it?" The story is 100% true. Oh, man. Durability would be a better title. I don't know, because durability... durability's fine, but I guess I'm just familiar with effective health from other games. Other games use that term, so I don't know. I might change it. We'll write... Hold on. Health with... damage mitigation factored in other names, durability. It's gonna be very messy for right now. All right, it's just work in progress. This is how you do it, and then we'll clean it up for like a final thing. So hashtag can I eat it? Oh man. All right, hold on. Dragon sent over another book as well, saying also, BG, if you want to do the whole node list quickly, I have an idea to do all of them. You talk through the list, someone else type/assigns categories and champions. Yes, I am volunteering. Hold on. Let me read this again. All right. To do all of them, you talk through the list, someone else types/assigns categories and champions. I'm kind of understanding, but not 100% understanding. Maybe. I'll keep that in mind for sure. I'll keep that in mind for sure. And maybe we can do something like that. We'll see. Originals, yeah, over $1 as well. Thank you very much. Saying, Brian, use auto for tanking. Well, we wouldn't even want to use auto for tanking. We would literally just want to stand there. Here's what we'd probably come up with some sort of value system for like, okay, 1% crit resistance is worth, you know, some sort of multiplier on the base health. So, you know, maybe like, just as an example, like 1% crit resistance, we add, you know, 1% of this value. It would be higher than that realistically, because crit damage is worth, like, crit damage is where most of the damage comes from in this game. If you've ever noticed, like, the yellow hits, they're not just like a 2x multiplier. They're usually much higher than that. When you're doing like a regular medium attack for 1,000 and then you land a critical hit for 10,000, you know, a little bit of a stretch there, but you know what I mean. So yeah, it would take a little bit of effort to figure out some sort of multiplier system for things like, you know, crit resistance. Ooh, you know, I mean, block is pretty straightforward, but it's a really important category, I would say. Okay. Well, right now I'm just going to write down block as is, but this might also get factored into effective health. Because again, this is a lot, right? But the idea is like there's 5 damage categories, and the idea is to boil it down, I don't know, maybe into one. Maybe it could be more than one, but I do want it to be fairly readable like this. You know what I mean? Like, Taters only has 1 damage category here. I fully expect to have maybe a few more categories than Taters has. But, you know, it can't just take up... I don't want somebody looking at like all of these categories and then another 10 categories that we still haven't gotten to yet. You know what I mean? It's the end result is going to be something similar to Taters, just with different categories and maybe a different way of measuring and stuff like that. That's the idea. Suicides, I do think there needs to be a way of tracking suicides. So yeah, we'll toss that on the list. How I'm going to factor that in, I'm not sure yet. PG sections for incursions, alliance war offense / defense. An AQ could be super helpful. Also, if they're suicide friendly. I mean, I do want to give some sort of defense score. As far as like Alliance Quest goes, that's tough. I mean, Alliance Quest, it comes down to like, you want at least decent damage. You want the champ to be able to heal in some way, ideally. I don't know. The way Alliance Quest goes, I don't think I'm gonna put an Alliance Quest category. I would rather someone look at this and then like make a video of saying like, oh, here's my thoughts for the current top AQ champions, and then refer to a list like this and say, well, here's why, because the champ scores really well compared to others in terms of their ability to heal, and they've got immunity and stuff like that, you know? Ease of use, yeah, I do think ease of use, I don't know, I have no idea how I want to make this category, but we'll put it down at least as something that is important, I think. As far as like the fun factor goes, I think I agree with MSD that fun factor is probably not important for a list like this. Yeah, I don't think so. I think that is, again, better for like a top 10 favorite kind of list. Like that type of content rather than something like this. Block be part of defense? No. So defense, I should have been more clear here. Sorry. Alliance war, defense slash solo competitive defense. I mean, defender, I guess, right? Alliance war defender, solo competitive defender. Survivability we kind of have here with like effective health. I'm gonna add that as durability, survivability. Not that that's gonna help you guys see it because it's gonna be cut off the screen there. Synergy dependency score. Did I not write that one down yet? I guess. Oh well. I put damage synergies, but you know what? I should just put synergies, period. Probably. Does that need to be... I'm just going to write down synergies down here, because it's not... You don't just get damage from synergies, right? Or, I mean, synergies are not just damage. So maybe they could be separated. Damage is like the #1 most important thing. There's that saying amongst some of the pros is that damage is the best utility. You know, if you could just crush the... I don't know why I said pros. By the way, I was gonna say originally I was thinking of Cam because I was like, yeah, I always heard Cam say that, but I always heard a lot of people say that, so I turned it into pros. But okay, anyway, sorry. There was a couple more super chats here too. I'm sorry that I am delayed on reading. Focusing a bit on the sheet here. Original, I already read yours about the auto for tanking. Thank you, dude. Luca, with the 5 months. Luca, thank you very much. Saying, sup, BG? Haven't been here in a while. Just saying hi. I've been taking a break and just came back. The game feels so refreshing after a break. Nice, dude. Hell yeah, man. Sometimes a good break is exactly what you need. Luca, thank you very much for the 5 months, man. The continued support. It's appreciated. Is there utility? Yes, we've got some utility here. I was going to start color coding them, but I realized it's going to be probably a waste of time right now to do something like that. And I don't know how readable it's going to be on a black background. All the different colors, so... BG, why are you making this list? There's just a lot of champs in the game, and it's getting harder and harder to keep track of them all. And I think people like it, to be honest. Part of it is that, yeah, it will help me to remember how all these champs work. But I think even more than that, this is what people like to see. And although I mostly just make whatever content I feel like making... there definitely is some content that it's like, you know, you got to give the people what they want, right? So, it's a mix. Alex sending over a buck as well, saying endgame viability, ramp up and synergy use, because synergies make a champ like Cable a totally different champ. Yeah, oh, absolutely. We've got synergies on there in 2 different ways now, but so ramp up, that would be more along the lines of long, although I guess, I don't know, I didn't put like multi-fight ramp up, which I don't know. I'm gonna write it down for now. I'm not sure if we're gonna make that into a category, but let's just say multi-fight ramp up for now. We'll just put something there just to keep it in mind. As far as like end game viability goes and stuff like that, I don't know. I think once you reach end game, you kind of, again, you refer to stats like this, but you don't necessarily go by it. So another, like, just to go back to this example, when people are looking at champions to play and stuff like that, right? You know, you might look at these stats, but you don't just look at the stats and go like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm playing this champ because they got more of these green dots than orange ones. You know what I mean? End game, you kind of have to strategize a bit more. Use your noggin for what counters you need. So, buff potential. I don't think we need buff potential. Maybe we can start filling out some of the more like common utilities though, because you just reminded me of like, I think buffs, debuffs, just in general, power control. I mean, I was gonna say immunities, but we have a separate category for immunity. Yeah. Even though we have a separate category like written down for immunities, that can still be part of the common utility. I don't know exactly what goes in this category, to be honest, man. Utility is so hard to measure because, you know, again, like, what's common and what's niche? I would say something like being able to like preventing shrug. There's a lot of nodes and like, I mean, a 6, like, you know, I guess like 1/6 of all the champs in the game, roughly, the skill class can shrug off debuffs, right? So like having that type of ability, I'd say that's a common utility to need, right? That's gonna be a tough one to figure out. That's why I you know, on there is part of me that does like the idea of just somehow hammering through all the nodes and just figuring it out that way. But it's so much effort, dude. That's such a crazy amount of effort. So, because it's not just one time that you have to do that. You have to like then go through each champ and see if they're able to counter or not. It's too much. If this was like a wiki style, which could be a possibility, if it was wiki style where people can update things and like if they've tested something and figured it out or not, if this champion works for it, how effective they are at it, that could be a way to go, but I honestly don't know how to even go about starting something like that. But you know what? I'm gonna write it down just as a little note here. Potentially turn this into a community-made wiki style ranking system. I don't know. Okay, hold on. There's a few other super chats here before we get back to this list and figuring it out. Alex, thank you again, by the way. Messiah, son over 10, saying hashtag Messiah for mod. Yo, Bald Master, the streak shall live. This one is interesting. Pixie, Cashew, Dragon, Makeup. Oh, man. Messiah, dude, thank you very much. The streak. Carrying on. It's carrying on. Lefty sent over 2 saying add incursions to the list. Does incursions need to be on the list? I feel like again, incursions would be more of someone would make like a top incursion list and then use like some of these as like a reference as to why they're good incursion champs, rather than just saying like, oh, is someone good for the incursions? Because like, why are they good for the incursions? Well, they're good for the incursions because they have like damage and chill and stuff like that. It's like, it's not as easy to do that with something like defenders, which is why I think defenders makes the list. Because defenders, it is a lot of feel of like, how annoying is this champion to fight? That one is going to be more on the subjective side, but I feel like it has to be, you know? So, I don't know. Incursions as a as part of this, I'm probably going to leave it off, I think. Yeah, I think that's the better way of doing it. Good suggestion still, by the way. Not, like, feel free to suggest anything, guys. Some stuff I'm going to add, some stuff I'm not. It's just the nature of it. The more things that get thrown out, just the more things we could think of in general, the more complete it will be, kind of thing. All right, Dragon sent over 2 saying, speaking of nodes, tweet, for example, how? Okay. Let's go check Twitter. Let's see. All right, illustrating my suggestion, node name / description for Matt May. You go through and tell me what the node category and applicable champs are. Go straight down the full node list to give you a tab to reference later. Bam, full node counter list. See, that's like super hard to do though. Right? I think at least, right? Because you're saying like the applicable champs, right? So, if we look at a node, then what do we do from there? We literally just go to Aunt May, like every single one of the nodes, and then we just go through like every single one of these champs. Like, can this champ do it? Yes, no. And like some of the champs, I won't even know if they're able to do it, especially once you get into the more of the intricate nodes. I don't know. That just sounds...
Man loves beans.
It sounds like a lot. It honestly sounds like a lot. That's why I'm saying, like, I think it would be... something like that would be more manageable if it was a community-made and upkept thing. Which... I honestly just don't know how to do something like that, but I'll think on that more, and maybe that will be something that just has to be done and people can contribute towards it. Because I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out, right? There's enough of that stuff on the internet. I'm sure we could do it. Not if you do it together, and yeah, if you try to list every single one. I think if you do a starting list, you can make a more robust version after you get a starting point. Perhaps. Pixie trying to pull the power on a house party? What is Pixie Bell saying? Clarissa. Where is Clarissa? Apparently everyone is really into this. Goobers. Oh, man. Pixie Bell, it's just something different. Embrace it, okay? Oh, man. All right. Nicholas Hansing sending over a bug saying you could break up the utility into ranking each ability for every champ. Power control. Wait, so hold on. Okay, wait. Let me read this again. You could break up the utility into ranking each ability for every champ. Power control, buffs, miss, evade, ability accuracy, debuffs, etc. on an effectiveness scale from 0 through 5. None, little, moderate, partly, mostly, fully, and then add total score for a rating. I see. So instead of thinking about all of the different types of utility in the game, you're saying just go, like, look at a champion themselves. And, well, I mean, I guess we would still need to flesh out the categories, you're saying, right? Flesh out the categories. Oh, my God, stop doing that. Flesh out the categories, and then give, like, a 1 through 5 for each of the champs. Potentially. Something like that could work. I don't even know if I had an original idea of, like, once we figured out all the categories of how to rank the champs. So I'm gonna jot that down over here for right now, and just say rank each category for each champ, or something like that. It doesn't need to be like, it's just a little note. Okay, yeah. Could maybe do something like that. Maximus, I don't know if I as well. Maximus, thank you, dude. Saying I picture this doc on the homepage of contestchampion.com, and there's a button wherein Flash games let us throw fruit at your head. I'd put a leaderboard to that game, I'm just saying. Oh, man. It's a good idea, Maximus. Community Wiki won't work because of how much of this is opinion-based. Yeah, it's opinion-based, but I was thinking what we can do is, like, one, have someone, like, you know, moderate it. Like, maybe I would moderate it to see, like, if this was a good submission or not. Or what we could do is have, like, take a few different opinions. You know what I mean? So, like, so we don't have an update for, like, A-bomb here. We don't have like it's not. He doesn't have a ranking until at least 5 people submit their rankings for like every single category too, you know. And then just kind of review real quick, make sure nothing is ridiculous, make sure no one just gave the champ 10 out of 10 because A-bomb is their favorite. You know, I don't know. But you're right. I guess what the hard part is, like, the person who ranks A-bomb, they didn't rank every other champ, you know, because it would take too long. So how would the ratings? Oh, man. I don't know. I still think something might be possible there. And like I said, it's just a maybe. But hold on. You had a few posts in a row here, Dragon. Let me read this all. Community made, that means someone needs to moderate it. Oh yeah, you said that. Okay, and that's a nightmare to do to ensure accuracy and people disagreeing. There's no final answer to a lot of these, their opinion. A community wiki. Okay, yeah, I read that one. You make the best possible version you can with the basics and then update it as you can and go through it. Doing nothing means the problem continues to exist. Yeah. And again, to an extent, skill is informed by progression. Yeah. I don't know if that was in reference to the list or if that was a reply to someone else's comment, but skill definitely is a factor in these categories. I mean, we saw it when Kabam showed us their data when they did, like, the Namor update. They had, like, damage output for people who were, like, really good at the game and players who were new and every category in between. And there was just, like, a wide range of the type of damage players were able to get out with different champs. So that is a nice other benefit of, like, one person doing it all, is that the skill, you know, we all improve our skill as time goes on, but for the most part, my skill is not really changing. For better or worse. I'm not really getting any better or any worse at the game. It'll be fairly consistent. So if I just spend enough time to get proficient with the champ, yeah, as long as it's not too crazy to set up, I should be able to do it for every character. It's just gonna take time. I think community wiki is a great idea. Node counters aren't that subjective. Yeah, they're not. Like I said, it's possible. Messiah 705, thank you, Messiah, saying, damn it, Max, let me live drunk. Mofo, love you. What? Hashtag Messiah for mod, 25 hashtags, get a big dono, people. Oh, man. Messiah wants to see hashtag Messiah for mod trending. Dude, Messiah, thank you very much. Reese sending over a buck as well, saying new criteria. Are they wearing their bald cap? Plus 10 if yes. Call it the big kid Scotty factor. Oh man, that should be a category. That should be the #1 category, honestly. Damage with and without bald cap. Okay, I'm sure I know, and I know there's probably a ton of comments that I missed for suggestions. But I do want to get back to maybe figuring out some more things to add to the list, because stuff like this, the note, like the common utility and stuff like that. Honestly, it's probably going to change as the list goes on. And we can keep adding to stuff like that too, but what else are we missing? What else do champs care about? Let's pull up the better A-bomb here. I mean, we have block, we have like the armor, energy, physical, crit resistance. All those stats are rolled into one. And health, right? Health is like the effective health. Attack, crit damage, crit rating. All of these things are rolled into one. There's prestige, but no, we don't care about prestige. Not for a list like this, at least, because then you just use May for that. And honestly, it would just confuse new players. Veteran players who are the ones that should care about prestige, they know how to find it. Doesn't need to be ranked, right? So that's all good. Got all that stuff. I just had one idea. Is it possible to rank characters relative to their class? Do you guys think there would be any importance to that? Like the mutant class. We all know the mutant class is stacked, right? Honestly, as time goes on, the other class types, they're catching up and getting better too, but the mutant class, it just has been known for a while just to have a lot of really good champs in it. So what we can do is give like an overall rating for the champ. Again, going back to something like this for Taters' video, where there's like an overall rating. And then we could say maybe like overall rank for that class type. What do you guys think about that? Something you guys care about? Something you don't care about? That does get into more, subjectivity. And that is something I'd rather people just make their own, ratings on. But I feel like that's what that's what someone's gonna try to look at my list for. And I mean, if they're gonna look for it, might as well make it convenient for people to look. Someone help my brain. What is Slugberg / Duck Slug's YouTube name? He doesn't have YouTube, Scarco. He's not on YouTube. You can find him on Twitter if you want to. He doesn't really post much outside of like updates or whatever, but does he even have a link? Oh yeah. Here's his Twitter link. But that's it. That's all he's got. Just realized I was showing the had the wrong thing on. Anyway. Roberto. Oh, Ricardo Slugberg. That's a character from the comments where he got the or comics. Did I say comments? Comics is where he got the name. Oh, you mean like in the, yeah, YouTube name as in, like in the chat. I thought you meant YouTube channel. My bad. Yeah, it is Ricardo. My bad. Okay, though. Hold on a sec. Whoa, dude, original. Sent it over 50 them Canadian bucks. Saying some motivation. Dude. Freaking original, man. Thank you very much. That is super kind, super generous of you, as always, man. Thank you very much, dude. All right, with that kind of motivation, we're finishing up this list tonight. I won't sleep until it's done. It's going to take so long to do. All right, seriously. This is going to take this is an ongoing project. This is something that's not going to be complete. It's something that, like, I can chip away at, maybe a couple of characters a week or something like that. Of course, the newer characters that get released, they'll have like top priority. But after that, man, like it's it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time. So just be aware of that. It'll have the most relevant champs, but yeah, it's going to take a whole bunch of effort, man. 89-hour stream. Here we go. Oh man, dude, original. You sent over another 50 saying sleep is for the weak. Dude, I'm about to sleep for a week just thinking about all this. I'm exhausted just thinking about it, dude. Original. Thank you, dude. You got one knee and then the other knee. It's like that scene from what's it called? Ace Ventura 2. When he gets an arrow to the knee, he's like, ah! And then the other knee, oh man. Anyway, original, thank you, dude. Pixie Belt, you know what? I see you're also sleepy too. Okay, hold on. Make a category for rotation convenience. CGR deals insane damage, but he's not very flexible on how he gets it. You have to get the combos and buffs instead. Well, I think that's ease of use, which is a pretty subjective category. But yeah, I think it's all going to be boiled up to ease of use there, Gecko man. Dude! Freaking Messiah too, sending over $100. The knees were already gone. Holy crap, Messiah, man. Thank you, dude. Just saying, weak. Oh, dude. Messiah, thank you, dude. Sending over $100. Man, thank you very much. Thank you, both of you. Okay, all right. Let's stay on point here, though. I'm gonna skim through the comments a little bit, see what else I'm missing. Maybe all the categories could ignore synergies and then have something similar to a little asterisk to indicate that a particular score needs synergies to be achievable. Okay, actually, Roger, you bring up a good point. Okay, so I haven't really talked that much about the styling yet. I have referred to Taters' video for some of the styling, right? But here's what I'm thinking. So we, something like this could have like another bar on top of it that is a little bit like we turn down the opacity on it, and it would, hold on, let me give a little example. It's the best way I can do this. What's the easiest way I can do this? Give me 1 sec. This will not take long, but I need to turn that off for 1 second. I need to do this. I need to do this. Copy, paste it. Okay. All right. So let's take it over to Photoshop real quick for a sec here. What we can do is we can do something like this. Okay. Pull that up. Drop the opacity down. Okay, so now what we have is we have a just baseline champion, right? And then synergies on top. Now, if we got this to be really advanced, which I don't expect to get this advanced, just as a heads up, we could even have like toggleable things where like we can turn that on and off, and I mean, we just label this, right? Like with synergies, and then we make another one for like with the awaken ability and without the awaken ability and things like that. I don't expect to get to that point, and it would not be something maybe done right away if it does get done. But that's kind of what I was thinking for the visuals, is borrow some of like what Taters has done, but again, change the style, and then try to put other information in there like synergies in that kind of way. Mastery dependent. Well, okay, so we did say suicides, but you're right. We could add Let's add to this category. Whoops. Advanced mastery dependency. So something like deep wounds. That's good. That's good. Because it's suicide. I mean, it's not the only thing that matters, right? So. BG was wondering your thoughts on possible 7 or 8 stars. I feel like now these are needed, especially for wannabe Thronebreakers trying to progress. Well, if you ask a lot of players, they don't want to see 7 stars at all. I recently had an idea with the with Realm of Champions kind of shutting down. I think it would kind of be cool because I feel like Kabam, they eventually have to release 7 stars, otherwise progress hits a wall. So eventually they probably have to do it. Now, I'm not saying they should do it quickly or anything like that. And it would feel bad if it was just like the same characters being re-released. I think that's what made 6 stars feel bad initially. And resulted in a bunch of people quitting. But I think it'd be cool if Kabam, if they took like the team that was working on Realm of Champions and just had them work on, you know, work like for an entire year on Champions, didn't release them, and then released 7 stars with the exclusivity of these new champions. You could only get one of the, 12 champions that were being like made but not released, Still have like the MCOC team working on champs that are coming out the same cadence, 2 a month kind of thing, but with the additional help. Which, who knows? Those people, I hope not. I hope they didn't get laid off, but they could have, or they could have been moved to a different project, or maybe those skills don't translate from one game to another. I don't know. So maybe it's not possible, but I just thought it would be cool if they did something like that for 7 stars. Let's see here. Trying to skim through some comments again. Actually, Under Mother sending over a bug saying, "Night all, quick tweet BG, head hurts, not 100% from your rambling." Oh, okay, only 45%. I take it. Okay, let me see. Quick tweet from Under Mother. What do we got here? The things you have to do nowadays, absolutely no regrets. Purgatory. Hot damn, dude. Went with Purgatory, or going with, since I don't see that button hit just yet. But I don't doubt you. I don't doubt you're going to do it. Nice, man. Very nice, dude. Did what you had to do. Got it done. It's a rank 3 Purgatory right there. How about uniqueness? I don't know if uniqueness can really be a category. We are going to have niche utility, which could have some sort of uniqueness flavor to them. Although it could be a note. You know what? I didn't do. All right, let's add this. Notes, which would be something about the champ that can't be ranked, but should be described. God, why do I suck at typing so much? Should be described, such as Quake's. Well, should we use Quake as an example? Let's use Ghost as the example. I'll use Quake as the example. Why not? Quake's fighting style. So we just have different. Hold on. Add. I'll leave this in all caps. Add notes for each champ. Okay. All right. So something like that is important to have. We can't make the notes section super long, but maybe just like 1 or 2 key things about a champ as a brief description. Hold on a sec. Does Taters have something like that in his? What does Taters have? I was really just looking at Taters as like a nice, pretty graphic here, but I never actually went through like one by one. Let's see. So he's got like the class type. He's got this is like the tags or whatever. I think like subclass control center. Is that what she's tagged as in game? Overall rating, power tier. Okay. Again, I'll say it again for the people that just showed up. I'm not ripping off Tater's thing. It's going to be a different style. It's just a really cool approach that we're referencing for right now. But it'll be different. Intangibles. Is that the note section you were talking about? Or you were saying? Hinach, just as like a short word for it. This is a new seat tier list or something like that. I mean, sort of. Like I said, we're using Taters as the example. It's more of that. Okay, I know some people don't want to see 7 stars, but what about 8 stars? There you go. How about Act 6 boss counters category? No. I mean, Act 6. Act 6 is old, man. We're almost on to Act 8. Like, the conclusion of Act 7 is right around the corner. I don't think it makes too much sense to like specifically call out one piece of content. Even for like the big things, even for like the Abyss, I would say I don't even want an Abyss category. I'd rather just have like this damage long category that people can refer to get an idea if a character will be good for the Abyss or something. Not a single champ has been ranked yet. Correct. I wasn't planning on ranking any champs tonight, if that wasn't clear. BG a little off topic, but is Cobra Kai worth watching? I mean, I love it, so. Fun or boring to use? I don't know if that's useful, though. I mean, it's useful, but it's too subjective for the list, so I don't think we can put that on here. Just pulled 5-star Guardian. Should I rank him up? I have a Tech Awakening gem if needed. I don't know. To be honest, I think other tech champs are more important to have. He feels like a champ that's... I mean, he's good. He's good. If you don't have any other tech champs you're interested in, you can go with him, but... I just kind of feel like other champs are more important. Just realized he was using sheets. We learned those last week in computer class. Hey, nice, dude. I never took a class on using these, so I wish I did. Spreadsheets are incredibly valuable, man. Like take that class seriously. Do some extra credit in that class. When the teacher gives you homework, actually do it. CNTR is control. Oh. Interesting. Because control is usually CTRL. But, fair enough. Question, isn't Quake's playstyle contained in ease of use? Sort of, but there should still be a note describe, like that's what makes her super unique. So it's because like I don't know, there's champions that like Quake. How do you define her ease of use? This is something I go back and forth on with people all the time. It's not that Quake is necessarily hard to play. There's a reason why so many people use her against really difficult nodes. Is because like people will naturally take the path of least resistance. That's what we're all looking for. And that's a reason why Quake gets used a lot, is because she's actually not hard to play. She's just different to play. And it can be hard to learn because it is something different. Once you've learned that style, it makes fights significantly easier. So it's hard to necessarily like rank her. I probably would give her like a higher, like a more on the difficult side of the ease of use, just because it, you know, again, it is something you have to learn, but that should really be something that's like just, you know, described a little bit as a note for the champ. About a cav event quest category? No, again, that's like maybe too narrow of a focus. Since that changes all the time and stuff. Only category should be based on the content, really? Yeah, exactly. It's you can't really base it on the content outside of the like you know, factoring in their utility and like niche utility and stuff like that, because it changes so much, right? It just changes way too much. Usually giving academic advice, someone pinch me. Oh man. Tiers based off of specific nodes. Well, again, like that's something that we're kind of having here. If we're getting like really specific in the nodes, then that needs to be a separate thing. You should have an outlier section to not over specialize the list. I think I don't know. I think stuff like that will kind of just be in like a mention note. Is there anything else that we're really missing from this? BG, what about adding a TLDR category? Boil a champ down to 2 to 3 sentences at most to use them effectively. Just an at a glance variation of the champ. I do like that. You know, I kind of like what I did for the Warlock getting started video, quick start guide. Add very oh, what the heck? Why did it come out that way? It's weird. Anyway, very short quick start guide. Rotation and most commonly used special. This is I'll write down the note like that for right now. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if that fits, because again, I want it to look clean. Keep going back to this, and this is super clean. So maybe like the notes are not gonna make it. Maybe they wouldn't make the cut. How about a link for play, seeing a champ in action? Yeah, that's the thing, is like I'm not sure where am I gonna put this stuff. Is this gonna be? It's gonna be in a video? Is this gonna be just a spreadsheet that gets shared around? Is it gonna be both? I don't know if links will be possible, but I mean, I'll add something like that for now. If list is viewable in non-video format, include link to videos. Sustainability and tankiness, we've got that here with effective health. Easy or hard they are to fight against, we've got that with Alliance Ward Defender and Solo Competitive Defender. I think we might, I mean, I'm sure there might be something I'm missing, but honestly, I think we have most of it here. We have an overall number for a champ, a la NBA Live or NBA 2K or FIFA. I've actually never played those games. Actually, I think I did play the original NBA 2K. A friend of mine had it on Dreamcast. But man, I can't remember how that game looked at all. I don't know how those games look, but Sort of, yeah. There's gonna be like an overall rating. CNTR is counter, I think. Oh, was it counter? Okay. Sounds like a website. I know. Category for which game period a champ is good for: early game, mid game, end game. Some champs like Namor are great, but not too useful early on. I would disagree. I think he is useful early on. He just has maybe a slightly different ease of use compared to most champs. I think he's really good early on, though, actually. That's the thing, is that becomes pretty subjective. But yeah, I mean, we have like the ease of use. I think that kind of covers it. Because early game and end game and stuff like that, I feel like that's more on the player. Rather than the champ, to some extent. 1000% awesome category if a champ is 1000%, or between 1 and 1000%. Like, I'd give Man-Thing a 1000%, and I'd give Quake a 1%. Stealth Spidey a negative 1%. How about an Everest content rating? Again, we kind of thought about that for Abyss and stuff, but don't really want to do that. Instead, we'll just... People can make recommendations for that content by kind of looking at some of these ratings. Overall usefulness. Example, Red Mags doesn't only have class advantage over skilled champs, but also dominates the tech class. I mean, that sort of does cover, like, in utility. But I don't know how we're going to rank Mags. Magneto specifically. What would his counter to metal be classified as? I know like Taters is the best, but it really would be a good idea for you to check out some of Cian's and Vegas and Lags and RVS's tier list just so you get a feel for it. I mean, I've seen the tier lists, unless they change. I mean, I haven't, to be honest, I haven't looked at a tier list in a while, but like, I've seen tier lists. There's I've seen him is all I could say, I guess. That they're like nothing bad against it. I don't know. I just don't have anything else to say other than I've seen him. Could be a good idea to look at them again, but just want to make it clear I have seen him. Reese sent over 2 saying, last 2 please. Reese, let me see. Google Sheets with viewing access but not editing access. Hyperlink to Google-based videos or to small side channel devoted to 30-second gameplay snippets. Have you ever considered ranking their personality? Goodness. I can't say I've considered ranking their personalities, but you know what? Are you talking actual personalities, or are you saying like when someone comments that someone's got a good personality because they, you know, are attractive? But hold on, let me what was the first part again? Okay, so yeah, the Google Sheet thing. So maybe, possibly, could be a good way to handle it, but I'm not sure. I feel like there's got to be something better, but maybe there isn't. I don't know. Because the sheets themselves are going to get incredibly messy. I mean, there's going to be a sheet for like every single character down here, and then like an overall, and oh my god, dude. It's going to be a nightmare to look at. But maybe I'll give access to it for the people that want it, and then just have a simplified version for the general people who don't care to get into all the details. All right, Chris Merchant sent it over 5 as well. Chris, thank you very much. Saying, how about a link for play, seeing the champ in action? Yeah, we were just talking about that. I do have that written down as a possibility. If list is viewable in non-video format, include a link to videos. I guess it was scrolled down so you couldn't see it, but I do have that. Yeah, like a rating system, and then yeah. So if it's in written, we'll definitely have something like that. That was always the plan, by the way. Back when I actually, had a website. The idea was to have something similar to this. Slugberg did a much better job than I ever could. But the idea was to have something similar to this, and then at the bottom have like a bunch of links, and then like an upvote downvote system, so you could see like what the coolest videos were from that champion and stuff like that. It's just, me and websites, we don't get along. I can use them, I just can't make them. Yeah. All right, Simon's handing over 100 yen as well. Saying bald cap effectiveness and or compatibility. Yeah. Well, all champs are compatible, all right? Even I-bomb. But I guess it does get tough. You'd probably get a lower rating on that. Not adding boring is a good choice. I love using heavy champs like AA, Colossus, etc. A lot of people find them boring. Yeah, that's too subjective, right? Shall we add an accuracy to the comic version of the character tab? Oh, someone would have to help me with that. Miss Jane, as far as I'm concerned, every single one of these characters is extremely accurate to their comic book versions. Because I don't know the comics at all. I mean, from what I saw, the long shot is pretty accurate to the comics, so. Character aesthetics, sorry for saying this, BG, but I can't think of anything else. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. This is good that people, I honestly, I feel like we're maybe at the end here of what we can think of for categories. Aesthetics, I am gonna leave off just because, again, first off, a lot of the animations in this game look great. I think a lot of people realize and understand that and stuff. And although it can be fun to talk about that, of like, what's your, favorite looking character or favorite animations or favorite special 3 and stuff like that, it's not something that we need to necessarily rank. Get someone to help you make a website? I should have done that. I had tons of very knowledgeable people reach out, tons of very experienced people reach out, but I was too stubborn at the time because I wanted to learn how to do it on my own. At this point, I don't care to learn it on my own anymore. So I've realized it's just not what it's not meant for me, man. It's not that I couldn't learn it if I put more time and effort into it, which I put a bunch, to be clear, okay? There were many days where I just sat here all day long, with one screen, stuff I was programming, other screen, Stack Overflow, just doing whatever I could. It's just, I kind of hated it, is what I realized. I just don't really enjoy the process. So at this point, I don't necessarily care to learn it anymore. So I'm not sure if it is going to be a website or something like that. If I decide to go that route, I will, maybe reach out and see if anyone's interested in helping with something like that. But for right now, I'm leaning away from doing a website kind of thing, and probably will just go with some sort of spreadsheet, and that, I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out, I guess. Glitched category. Might as well put all the champs in there, huh? They're all glitched, man. BG, what about a champion like Omega Red, where you might rate him high on damage, but all that damage is dependent on suicides and SIGs? For a new player, it might be confusing. Well, that's why we've got all these different categories here. Damage short, long, like damage type, between like the regular hits and like secondary damage type. We've got, where is it? Yeah, well, like synergy dependency here, suicide or advanced mastery dependency. So we've got the different categories for that. Category for weaknesses, like if a champ is poison reliant, you can note that they won't work in a lot of fights. You know what? That is a good idea. Like a... I'm gonna come up with a better name for this later on. But right now, let's just say character weaknesses. Torch when suffering from bleed. We can factor something like that in. That's a good idea. Bushido Browns, yeah, over a pound. Bushido Brown, thank you, dude. Saying, my girlfriend and I keep fighting over which way the toilet paper should face. Our therapist suggests that we try each other's way for a week. You know, role reversal. Okay. You're really in therapy over the toilet paper? Hey, man. Good on you for looking for professional help to solve the life's toughest problems. Toilet paper. Oh, man. Bushido Brown, but boo, though, dude. Take a frickin' lap. Damn toilet paper joke. Boo. BG, I'm a web developer, and I can help you out as long as you need. Cyrix, appreciate the offer. I'll keep it in mind. Like I said, for right now, I don't necessarily think it's going to be a website. Perhaps at some point, but right now, no. Just join the stream. What do you mean by ranking system? So, sort of something like this. This is Ludum Taters. How he kind of ranks the champ in different categories. To give like an overall rating and just like a quick overview of the champ. It's going to be slightly different than that, but you know. Ooh, someone said willpower. I did want to add that. I don't know if I'm going to include this in healing or what, but I just wanted to write down willpower healing. I'll rearrange that later. Okay. Crit dependence or consistency rating? I think that's just going to get boiled down into like overall damage. I don't know if this can be a category, but champion tags are important, right? Champion tags. How many? Maybe rank the useful ones versus the less useful / obscure ones. I don't know, but champion tags, that should probably be in there. And honestly, I feel like that might be it. I know I'm gonna kind of work on this little by little. I'm not gonna start like tomorrow, so if you guys can come up with other things, like this might be a good place just to call it for now. We'll hang out for a few more minutes in case someone has any last minute ideas, but honestly, I feel like we're not really adding a whole lot to the list at this point, so don't want to just sit here with my thumb up my butt. But is that Zesky? What's going on, dude? Saying, yo, BG, I'm here to help with your ranking system. But first, your fave thing to eat with chili? Hot dog, crackers, chips / Fritos, omelet, rice, burger, other. I don't think I've ever had chili in my entire life. I'm not kidding. I mean, you probably believe it because, well, there's a lot of things I haven't had, like coffee. I also haven't had a cup of coffee. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, dude. There's something about chili that just never looked appetizing to me. Don't know why. Can't really explain it, but never had it. So, I'll say with nothing. Actually, does that make sense? If it's with nothing, then I just like to eat it by itself, huh? I don't know. How good the champs would look in khakis. That is an important category. That's as good as it gets, in my opinion. Yeah, I feel like this is probably it. What's gonna happen next is I'm gonna try to figure out a way. Here's the plan, I think. All right, so we have a whole bunch of individualized categories here, right? Now, what I think needs to happen next is to figure out how it's gonna look in a more complete version. Because again, this is an example, but it's not gonna look exactly like this. So how do I want it to look? How many categories can we fit before it becomes overwhelming? Is 6 the limit? Can we get away with having fewer categories and then just have a reference as to where we pulled these numbers from? Can it maybe be boiled down to like 4 categories, for example? Or do we need to extend it and maybe have 10 categories? I need to figure out the right amount and how it's going to look. And just like the general formatting of the complete product. And then we'll be able to kind of bridge the gap from like the individual categories to the complete thing and somehow figure it all out, basically. That's the next step, I think. It's tough making stuff like this. You don't really know exactly the like step 1 and step 2 and step 3, you know what I mean? But you kind of just bounce around a little bit, I think, and it'll come together. It always does. All right, I'm out. BG is really nerding out and is scary. Night, everyone. Oh god. Good night, Clarissa. Maybe something like how much they can completely shut down and control the fight, e.g. Doom Cycle, or as Lags puts it, Kitty God mode. How do we put that in a guide, though? I feel like that would maybe go in like the notes area, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I do like the idea of like ultimate count. Maybe all right, I'm just gonna put this down for right now. Maybe like ultimate counters, like how Magneto counters metal. Don't know how to put this into a number though. Just putting down a note. All right, John Schlamp sent over a few of them. Canadian Bug saying first 565 on the alt. CGR SIG 200 melts content. Dang, dude, that's your first 565? That's a sick one, dude. That's a sick one. Very nice, man. Pre-fight support. Yeah, pre-fight support. I like that one. I don't know if this is maybe it'll get rolled into some other like type of utility. But that is something I didn't think about. Pre-fight support. Good call. Good call. Control category. How in control of the champ you are. I think that goes in ease of use, roughly. What if you made a list that based on all these categories, you determine how high you'd rank them? I feel like that's up to people using this info. Not something that a list is going to tell you what to do, really. You're asking about Mags earlier. He said Torch and Nimrod could be specialty champs. Or wait, no. He and Torch and Nimrod could be specialty champs. Well, yeah. Well, all right. So we'll put that in like the ultimate counters area. Let me add that though. Like, or Torch countering Mystics. Ooh, you know what? Class advantage. We'll just put this as a general category. General score of how well a champion counters their the class they have advantage over. I don't know if that's going to be a category, but there might be something there. PG pre-fights are so different and so detailed, they need their own ranking system. Perhaps. You could be right. PG, I just got here. What I missed? What's up, Static? Just figuring out how to make my own version of this. Taters' ranking system. And we're just going through all the different categories of how to score champs. You know, in a way. You had auto fight friendly category. I did not, but I don't know if that necessarily needs to be put somewhere here. As much as I like auto fighting. What specific counters a champ might have, / what specific champs they counter. That gets so hard to boil down into a little list though. There are definitely some champs that lose a lot with class disadvantage. You might factor them somehow. All right, so let's say class advantage / disadvantage. We should really just change that to like class relationship, I guess. You know what? Let's just change it now. Class relationship, general score of how well champ counters class advantage. Or disadvantage with. Dude, how do I keep typoing this? Disadvantage? Disadvantage. Okay. Alright. On the final user interface, perhaps have mini profile pictures of the champs. This particular champ. Hard counters like Spidey 29, Mojo, etc. I like that idea. Hard counters. Show small profile pics or names, depending on how I can format it. Hard countered by. I guess I'll type it out again, whatever. Actually, here, why am I doing all this, man? Hard counters. Countered by, okay. I know it's obvious, but do we have defensive abilities? Sort of, yeah. I've got, it's going to be under the category of Alliance War Defender / solo competitive defender. Best champs for new one-on-one game mode. Yeah, well, so we don't know the solo mode yet, but I think that's gonna change. I think so for most of like the game modes themselves, for like Alliance Quest, Incursions, you know, pretty much any game mode you could think of, or any piece of content you could think of, like the Abyss. I don't necessarily want to put that in a category. The idea is to kind of like give people an idea of how much damage this champ will do versus the newest champ that just got released to the game, and then people can determine like, oh, it's got high damage in long content, well, maybe I'll use them in the Abyss or something, and then leave that up to people to kind of figure out for themselves. I just want to keep it more to like ranking the champ without factoring in the content, which of course, when it comes to like utility, we do have to factor in content somewhat, but we do, you know, the idea is to not get specific with it. The idea is to figure out like, you know, which things that like how many things the champ could potentially counter depending on what Kabam creates. I reckon you should look at the list and see which categories are similar and merge them into one category and make shorter and more brief lists on other documents to see what we have so far. Yeah, well, like I said, that's step 2. Step 1, write out all the categories. Step 2, figure out how it's going to look in a finished, polished, finalized, more cut down view, and then figure out what steps need to be done in between to make that happen. 1 sig efficiency. Well, we've got like a sig score. We factor in that. Phase mechanics. Yeah, that's somewhere in here. I don't know exactly where, but it's somewhere in here. Usefulness in boss fights like Gwynmaster, Kang, etc. I did almost put down like a boss killer kind of rating, but I don't think we should do that. Again, I think that's up to for people to determine and use this as a little bit of a reference. Longevity potential list. Can't really do that because, like, you know, I think Doom is going to last forever, but what if they come out with, like, Doom version 2.0 next month? Suddenly forget Doom 1. It's all about Doom 2. The upgrade. The sequel. Doom, the sequel. Just for fun ranking system. I mean, that doesn't really need to be in here, though. It's fun ranking champs that way and stuff. But, yeah. We don't need to bog down the list with that. But the way you want to present it sounds like a website would be better suited, perhaps. It's possible. It's possible we do go website route, and I already, you know, I have some assets already like made and saved and stuff from my original idea for the website, where I have like a different way of displaying the characters and stuff like that, and you know, it could do a website, because I mean, I guess that is the easiest way to find champions, is to have them displayed like this with the different categories up here. So I don't know, man. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. All right, you know, it's getting pretty late, and honestly, we're not, I think that we've kind of got down the most important parts. If you guys think of anything else that has not been shown here, give a just a brief look at the categories here. Damage short, damage long, damage physical. I put physical and energy, but this really just means like through things that people don't have immunities of. Maybe I'll just add that. Can't be immune to like regular hits. And then damage secondary like bleed or poison, etc. Damage with synergies. I should have said with. Damage with synergies. All this assumes without. Utility, the common utility, so buffs, debuffs, power control, immunities, preventing shrugs. Utility niche, which to be determined. Healing. The healing difficulty, which I probably could have phrased that better, but For example, King Groot, it's super easy to heal with him versus some other champs where you actually need to pull off a few more mechanics like Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider can heal, but you also have to do a heavy attack, and to extend the duration of the heal, you have to complete his other judgments and things like that. Immunities, which might just get tossed in common utility, but I don't know. Awakening dependency score, high sig dependency score, effective health, so health with damage mitigation factored in. Other names for it could be durability or survivability. Block, which maybe block will just be thrown into effective health. I think that's what I planned for originally anyway, because block, I mean, we could see block on AMA already. It is such an important stat though, isn't it? Whereas like attack isn't necessarily important if the champ has high crit rate, or, you know, if they can deal damage in other ways, right? But block is block, man. You need high block on pretty much every champ in the game, except for like, you know, Ghost or champs like that. So I don't know. Okay, suicide / advanced mastery dependency. And I stuck willpower healing in here, but I'll probably put that somewhere else. Just put it in with the masteries. Alliance War, defender / solo competitive defender. Ease of use, synergies. Wait, why did I throw synergies here again? Synergy, dependency, outside of dealing damage. All right, multi-fight ramp up if they need more fights to ramp up. Add some notes about different champs, just a very brief note. Quick start guide. These are all maybes, by the way. Not everything's guaranteed to be in a rankable thing. All right, if the list is viewable in non-video format, include a link to the videos. Champion weaknesses, i.e. torch when suffering from bleed. Champion tags, how many? Maybe rank the useful ones versus the less useful / obscure ones. Ultimate counters, like how Magneto counters metal or torch countering mystics. Pre-fight support, class relationship, which is honestly kind of the same thing as the ultimate counters. And then potentially turn this into a community-made wiki style ranking system. And then I put down here for the final end result thing, the hard counters are countered by show some small profile picture names. So this is a good start. And all I can say is thanks for tuning in and helping with this, guys, because I have no idea, or I had no idea if anyone would find this interesting or not, but it seems like a bunch of people were interested, at least. Because this is kind of what goes on behind the scenes for, like, if you want to make a video, this is some of the work that goes into it. Obviously, this is something more than just a video. So, you know, there's more going on here than you might see in a standard video, but that's kind of like the behind the scenes work involved of like, well, what do you want to talk about in this video? What matters? What doesn't matter? How do you show it? Things like that. So I didn't think anyone would, or I didn't know if anyone would give a damn to see this or not. But it's fun talking about it, I guess, right? And it's Sunday, like I said, there's nothing else going on in the game, so might as well include you guys and see what you want to see. So, but on that note, yeah, I think it's time to call it there. So, if you guys think of anything else that was not on this list, either add it to the comments of this video or, you know, send me a message in tomorrow's stream or whenever you guys think of it. And yeah, add it to the list. Man, I went on the CCP because I wasn't planning on like ranking any individual champs, but I was going to maybe do like a test fight or something like that. And that's why I was over here and never even bothered with that. Oh well. So can't even open up a crystal. This is just time to call it. So before I go, shout out to Messiah for once again being tonight's biggest D, keeping the streak going. Messiah. Dude, honorary mention, though, to Original for also sending over quite the generous super chats. And everyone else, thank you, too. I've always wanted to try programming. The backbone of all this stuff. Started college at CS. Not fun during COVID times. Yeah. Not much is. During COVID time, at least. But, yeah. All right. Night Baldywood. Wow. All right. Yeah. Good night, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow, normal time. Oh, I just realized the chat's busted, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not busted. Okay. It just went off screen. Okay. All right. Anyway. Night, everyone. I just realized I never clicked the button. That's awkward. Okay. Now, good night, everyone.